Hello everyone, welcome back to Divided Times How Literature Teaches Us to Understand the Other by Amanda Paulo. Let us have a quick recap of the portions we have learned in the last class. In the last class, we have seen four great writers, namely Homer, Shakespeare, Cervantes, and Goethe, creating their greatest characters, namely Odysseus, Hamlet, Don Quixote, and Werther, respectively. Amanda observes that these characters are still relevant and referred often in our contemporary culture. The reason they are still relevant is that these characters are deeply modern. They are marginalized anti-heroes. Marginalized means ignored anti-heroes. Take the case of Odysseus, for example. His arrival at the island of Phaeacians resembles the contemporary refugees who have been arriving the shores of Greece. Thus, Odysseus is still relevant. Through him, the people can understand the condition of a refugee. That was where we stopped in the last class. Now, let us continue. Para number 4. Now, take the case of Hamlet. But Hamlet too seems bizarre in the eyes of Claudius and Gertrude. And Don Quixote, or rather Don Quixote, is a madman to the villagers he encounters. When they ask him why he is wandering around in armor during peacetime, he presents himself as a wandering knight, an ambassador of God on earth. Goethe's Werther is crazy with love and sends his servant to Lotte's house merely so he can have someone close by who, he says, has been close to her too. So, just like the previous example, just like Odysseus, let us take the case of Hamlet. Hamlet is a character who is considered by others as mad or bizarre. Bizarre means strange. Hamlet's mother, Gertrude, and his uncle, Claudius, thinks that he is strange or mad. Now consider the case of Don Quixote by Cervantes. Cervantes' Don Quixote is also considered as a madman by his villagers. Why? Because his ideas are strange. Having read a lot of stories about the knights, I have told you, ancient soldiers, about the knights, he thinks that he is also a knight and wanders in the countryside in search of adventure, considering himself as an ambassador of God on earth. Now consider Goethe's Werther. Werther has fallen in love with a woman called Lotte. He sends his servant to her just to have with him somebody who has been close to her. So Goethe's Werther. Goethe's Werther is a lover. He has fallen in love with a woman who is the wife of another person. That woman is called Lotte. He sends a servant to her so that he can be with a person who has been close to her. So madly in love with a person. So you can see here the image of these four characters. Hamlet, Odysseus, Don Quixote, and young Werther. Now coming to para 5. The characters in these books who encounter those paradigmatic heroes, typical heroes, paradigmatic heroes, as lovers, rivals, servants, friends, or random passers-by, think the way we have been taught to think when we encounter something unusual, exaggerated, or foreign. Odysseus is a filthy, shipwrecked sailor. Hamlet sees ghosts. Don Quixote is walking on clouds. And Werther is ruled by an unhealthy passion. See the explanation. Other characters in these books, whoever they are, whether they are lovers, rivals, friends, or passerby, they view these characters as mad or strange. That is, Hamlet's uncle and Hamlet's mother view Hamlet as mad. The people in the novel Don Quixote view Don Quixote as mad. And other characters in Werther, Sorrows of Young Werther, see Werther as a madman. Why? The reason is that these characters are not behaving as the society has taught them to be. There are certain characteristics that society thinks as normal. When someone goes out of that definition, they are considered as strange or not normal. We are also taught by the society to think like that when we see something strange, unusual, or foreign. Hope you understood that. See, society expects a person to behave in such and such way. If that person is not behaving in the expected format, the society, the people will consider that person as abnormal. So all these characters, whether it is Hamlet or whether it is Werther or Don Quixote or Odysseus, all these characters are not normal in the sense that they are not uh, behaving according to the expectations of the society. So the people, the readers or the people within the stories view Odysseus as a dirty, shipwrecked sailor. Hamlet is someone who sees ghosts, therefore mentally unstable. Don Quixote is unrealistic, that is, walking on clouds, unrealistic, not realistic. And Werther is in love with somebody else's wife, that is, is an unhealthy passion. So, this is because of all these reasons that these characters can be called as anti heroes. Now, para 6. What literature does is incorporate the other in all its quirks and peculiarities into the social body. It allows for difference and often even proclaims it to be genius. It considers difference is a sign of courage. The hero is who he chooses to be, or he fights for his freedom, his ideas, or his aesthetic, as does James Joyce's Stephen Dedalus in A Portrait of the Artist as a Young Man. See the explanation. From all these examples, can you guess what literature is trying to do? Literature brings to the front another, not another, an other. Literature brings another to the front with all its quirks, all its peculiar behavior and features. Odysseus, Hamlet, Don Quixote, Werther, all these characters are others, where another is someone out of the normal. So I have already told you in the last class that the other is a person or a community who is ignored or who is kept away, who is marginalized on account of various factors like a religion, caste, creed, gender, etc. Here, all these characters are others, someone who is not belonging to the majority, who is not considered as normal. These books say that these heroes are not mad, but they are even geniuses. The difference they have with the common public is their individuality. So, hero is someone who chooses who he should be. Hero fights for his freedom, hero fights for his ideas, or hero fights for his aesthetic beliefs. Stephen Dedalus, who is the hero in James Joyce's novel The Portrait of the Artist as a Young Man, is an example for a hero who fights for his aesthetic beliefs. So, we are stopping here for a while and will continue in the next class.